Hello. Hello. Hello.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Namaste.
Namaste, sir. Hello, sir. Sunny.
Start చేద్దామండి. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, yes, sir. Able to hear.
Okay.
Sir, good evening, sir.
నమస్తే అండి. గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to second day of 5-day international webinar. I am Dr. K. Nirmal Jyoti, convener of this webinar. On behalf of Department of Chemistry, JMJ College for Women, Autonomous Tenali, I extend a cordial welcome to this 5-day international webinar on innovative approaches in green chemistry for addressing emerging challenges in chemical and allied sciences. Before we proceed, let us take a moment to connect with our creator. Please join me in singing a prayer song.
Sir, will you please stop screening?
Okay, sure.
Holy Spirit, here with your presence, fill me with your power, live inside of me. You're the living water, let it drown me fountain. Come surround, take complete control. You're the living water, let it drown me fountain. Come surround, take complete control. Welcome, Holy Spirit. We have in your presence. Fill me with your power. Live inside of me. Welcome, Holy Spirit. Be here with
Thank you for joining us in this divine gathering. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this webinar. We hope you find it both enlightening and engaging. Significance of the webinar. Second day of the webinar. Addressing emerging challenges in the chemical and allied sciences through green chemistry not only protects the environment but also leads to healthier ecosystems, safer industrial practices, and improved quality of life. This forum is critical in fostering collaboration, sharing groundbreaking research, and inspiring new generations of scientists to lead the way in sustainable innovation. It's my privilege to present to you our distinguished today's speaker, Dr. Venkateswara Surisetti, PhD, from United States of America. Sir, native place from Tenali. సో చిన్న తెలుగులో ఒక చిన్న సామెత చెప్తాను. సినిమాల డైలాగ్లో మీది తెనాలి మాది తెనాలి. సో సో అందుకనే తెనాలి ఆంధ్ర ప్యారిస్ అనేది అందరికీ తెలుసు. సో అలాంటి ఆంధ్ర ప్యారిస్ నుండి మాకు ఈరోజు మా రిసోర్స్ పర్సన్ ప్లస్ మా తెనాలి మా సైంటిస్ట్ అని చెప్పుకోవడానికి మేము చాలా గర్వకారణంగా ఫీల్ అవుతున్నాము. సార్ ఈరోజు మీరు మా మధ్యలో ఉండటం నిజంగా మా తెనాలి మా JMJ కాలేజ్ ఆంధ్ర ప్యారిస్ చేసుకున్న ఒక గొప్ప అవకాశంగా భావిస్తూ మీకు ఈ అవకాశం ఇస్తున్నాను సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ. Dr. Venkateswara Surisetti, PhD, DuPont, Nemos and Company, Richmond, United States of America, who has made a meaningful impact in the field of chemical engineering and technology. He is a dedicated researcher, accomplished scientist, and experienced educator who has built a career filled with leadership and innovation in chemical engineering. Currently, he is working as a senior scientist, principal investigator, manufacturing technology, senior engineering specialist, DuPont, Nemos and Company, Richmond, United States of America. Sir, path started with a strong academic background. After earning a Bachelor of Technology in Chemical Engineering from Andhra University, he pursued a Master of Technology at the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, where he focused on wastewater treatment. His passion for learning led him further to the University of Saskatchewan in Canada. Thesis title is Research and Development of Protein-Promoted Alkali Modified Molybdenum Sulfide for the synthesis of higher alcohols. In January 2001, when he completed his PhD in Chemical and Biological Engineering. Sir, influence goes beyond the academic world. He has led advanced research projects, driving technological innovations in manufacturing processes. His role as a principal investigator for key studies in chemical engineering has pushed the boundaries of scientific discovery, while his leadership in technology initiatives continues to provide impactful solutions in manufacturing. From 2017 to 2020, Sir served as a research investigator and technology transfer leader at DuPont, United States of America, overseeing the successful transfer of new technologies from research to large-scale production. His effort enhanced the efficiency and quality of manufacturing processes, contributing to companies' global success. Earlier, in his career from 2010 to 2016, Sir worked as a research scientist at Canada Company in Kingston, Canada, where he conducted extensive research on catalysts and chemical processes. His work earned him multiple patents and over 20 international peer-reviewed journal publications. Beyond his time in industry, Sir has demonstrated a deep commitment to education. From 2006 to 2010, he was a professional lecturer at the University of Saskatchewan, Canada, sharing his expertise with students in chemical and biological engineering. Even before that, from 2001 to 2005, he served as an assistant professor at Acharya Nagarjuna University, India, shaping the next generation of engineers through his teachings and mentorship. Sir contributions to the industry are also reflected in his numerous achievements. He holds 5 patents, 3 provisional patents, and has presented his work at over 20 international chemical and process chemistry in conferences. In recognition of his work, Sir has been certified as a Lean Six Sigma Black Belt, a testament to his skill in improving processes. He has received several awards, including the SABEX Innovation Challenge Award and the NSCRC Postdoctoral Fellowship Award from the Canadian government. Sir, ability to connect academic research with practical industry needs is a unique and valuable skill. Sir, for your ongoing contributions, and we look forward to seeing what you will achieve in the future. Sir, I humbly request to deliver your talk on chemical and process industrial Telugu states, India. Thank you, sir. Welcome to this session.
Thank you so much, Andy. So very nice introduction. Very thank you. Yeah, as you said, like, yeah, Midi Tenali, Madi Tenali. I really love Tenali. Yeah, basically, like, if you know Tenali, yeah, I think you are all from Tenali, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, I like this session to be interactive, so you can speak. I think Telugu is comfort to you. My preference is also Telugu. Okay.
No problem with both languages.
Everyone, everyone. Okay. So you can speak, you can talk. Yeah, you are. I think you are all in teachers only, right? I mean, lecturers or professors only, right? Faculty. Yeah. So yeah, welcome to our topic today, which is, I believe this is a very, very important topic. I know you are all great chemists, you are all great teachers who are forwarding the culture as well as the studies to the students, right? So that's what when I got a call from Jyoti Garu about this talk, then I was thinking about which topic, right? Like a regular, I can present some. I have done my research in biofuels. I can present something about biofuels, catalysis, whatnot, right? Or maybe something about environmental pollution, etc., etc. But I thought like this is a very, very important topic. Industrial safety is a very, very important topic, and if I communicate effectively this topic to you, then you may probably communicate this to the students, which is next generation. And I believe this is very much needful topic right now in India, especially in Telugu states, which is chemical and pharma process industrial safety. Because recently there has been a lot of incidents happening, especially in Visakhapatnam and Hyderabad. And I, very sad to say, but I see Visakhapatnam as an explosive hub. We can say it as an industrial hub, pharma hub, or a chemical hub, but unfortunately we are saying it as an industrial hub. Why it is happening? Because of lack of safety concern. So I thought like this is a right topic for you, so that you can carry this to the next generation in an effective way, more effective than me. Then at least there is some awareness. Okay. So when I select this topic, what I did is I take LG polymer. If any of you remember about 2020 during COVID period, that is I think in March 7th, there was a huge explosion happen in Vizag. So I did some newspaper review. Being my bachelor's is in Vizag, as introduced by Jyoti Garu. Vizag is a very beautiful city, as you know, right? And these incidents happen in Vizag. Not only this one incident, but there are several incidents prior to this and after to this, right? So I did a case study during this COVID season after seeing this incident in newspaper, and I wrote a review on that. And my review and my study, I communicated successfully through Somu Veerraj garu. He is a BJP Andhra president, I think, at that time. So I communicated this to central BJP office. And then two of my professors, they were involved in writing a report to the government, AP government. So I communicated my report to them. Of course, sorry, I want to have a disclaimer before presenting this. So what I mean to say here is these are my thoughts and opinions that are expressed in this presentation are based on available newspapers, websites, journals, etc. And these are solely my presentation belongs to me only, but my employer or organization or any committee doesn't have any involvement in this. Okay, so being a chemical engineer and worked in industry, especially industrial safety is my uh, priority. We call in DuPont, we say zero safety. Zero safety is our target. Sorry, zero incident is our target. So we believe zero. Zero means no incident. Okay, so practicing as a practicing chemical engineer, as a practicing safety resource to the company, even though I don't visit the plant, this is my I don't have a first-hand knowledge about this incident, but based on the my knowledge and newspaper information, I made this presentation, and I don't this is as a practical chemical engineer, and based on my professional experience, if some of the information is not correct, I doesn't stand liable for this for any mistakes. And I don't want anyone to use this and make me liable. Okay, so that's just a disclaimer. I just want to give anyone before I start. Are you able to see my screen? First of all.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So, coming to my background, as Jyoti Garu gave a very nice introduction, my bachelor's is from this beautiful city, coastal area, Visakhapatnam, and we used to enjoy the sea, which is across the Andhra University. So every week, or at least 3 days, we used to walk. The ocean is in front of the library, so Ramakrishna beach is there. So we used to enjoy him. But unfortunately, right now, Visakhapatnam, a lot of incidents are happening. Okay, and my master's is from IIT Chennai. So IIT Chennai is a separate world. If anyone has chance to see inside IIT Chennai, it's a beautiful. It's like a forest. When you come outside the gate, you see the Chennai city, but inside it's a different world. So I think in 2005 or 2004, we moved to Saskatchewan. Saskatoon. The province name is Saskatchewan, and Saskatoon is located in Canada. Saskatoon is the capital. No, it's not capital. It's a big city, but capital is Regina. So I went there for doing my my PhD dream. I want to do PhD in a specific topic, which is reaction engineering. So that's why I was married at that time, and I have a 4 years daughter during that time. So I took a very what do you say, very brave or very bold step during that time to move. Before that, I was working in RVR and JC College of Engineering, Guntur. I was affiliated. I was appointed by Nagarjuna University at that time. This is affiliated college to Nagarjuna University, as you all know. So I worked there for around 4.5 years. So it was very nice experience as a teacher. So I love teaching, especially the chemical engineering subjects. I'm not a very good chemist, but engineering principles wise, I love chemical engineering. So that's why I selected chemical engineering after I got a 303 rank in my MTech during that time. So then, like after my PhD, immediately before my even I took my degree, PhD convocation degree, I joined in DuPont as a research scientist. I was very fortunate during that time to get a job as soon as I complete my PhD. There I worked for around 6 years as a research scientist. Then we developed many projects, including some of my projects are like we worked on developing a monomer for a ballistic purpose. Like this is for, if you know, the bulletproof jackets, right, for the US government. Now we are marketing this to Saudi Arabia, Australia, UK, Canada, and also US. So these military are our customers. Okay, so for this project, so that is one of the project, and also one another project is if you know DuPont Fertera. తెలుగులో కూడా మనకి యాడ్ వస్తుందండి, అది DuPont Fertera కణం కణముల కాంతి అని ఉంటుంది. It's a Ranexopier molecule. So if you may see in my Jyoti garu, especially you may see my resume patent about Ranexopier. So that is a molecule that I developed and with my team, and we commercialized this compound. And now the compound is successfully is making in China, and we are supplying across the world. Then this is a very nice. The specialty of this DuPont Fertera is a pesticide, basically. But if you see the pesticides, like the pesticides are increasing in our food chain, right? And ultimately they end up with attacking human, right? And the unique nature of this pesticide is it don't attack the mammal or birds. That means it won't attack humans also, right? Humans are part of mammals, right? So that is the specialty of this pesticide. So it was successfully launched, and now it is running very good. It's good for sugarcane, rice, crops, etc. And also one other project, like Canada gave me different opportunities to work on different projects, because I worked for various businesses in Canada, in DuPont. So DuPont has multi-business. As you know, like DuPont is a company, if you know the nylon 66, right? Nylon. Everyone knows nylon, right? I want some answers, please. నైలాన్ తెలుసు కదండి అందరికి? నైలాన్
తెలుసు సార్, తెలుసు. అందరు మీట్లో ఉన్నారు సార్ అందరూ.
మాట్లాడండి, మీరు కూడా మాట్లాడండి. వన్స్ ఐ స్టార్ట్ ద టాపిక్, దెన్ యూ కెన్ మ్యూట్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్.
మ్యూట్ లో పెట్టేశారు సార్ అందరూ.
ఓకే. సో నైలాన్ 66 డెవలప్ బై డూపాంట్ అండి. ఈ నైలాన్ శారీస్ కానీ, టైర్స్ కానీ, సో ఇట్ వాజ్ ఏ వెరీ బిగ్. నౌ ఇట్ బికేమ్ ఏ కమోడిటీ కెమికల్. But prior to that, nylon is never known to the world, and viscose rayon gani, nylon gani, these are all developed by DuPont anamata. So it's a great opportunity working with this company. And in 2017, because of this bulletproof jacket project, I was moved. Prior to that, another important project is I worked with the Toyota company మీకు ఈవీ వెహికల్స్ తెలుసు కదండి, ఎలక్ట్రిక్ వెహికల్స్. నౌ ఎలక్ట్రిక్ కార్స్ ఆర్ కమింగ్ ఇన్. నెక్స్ట్ ఫ్యూచర్ ఈజ్ ఎలక్ట్రిక్ వెహికల్స్, ఈవీస్. I think you see a lot of EVs in India also now. So we developed a electrolyte. So battery ఉంటుంది కదా ఈవీలో. So there is an electrolyte inside the battery, and we developed a electrolyte. And the uniqueness of this electrolyte is it will help to run the car for at least 500 miles. Before that, I think there are the batteries, existing batteries. They can run for approximately 200 to 300 miles, but this can keep on running before you charge it to approximately 500 to 600 miles. So that is also a very successful project. And one other thing is like DuPont Ferterra, which is a Rynaxypyr molecule. That project I developed with Indian company, which is called PI. PI Industries. You may know about PI. You may heard this PI Industries. So, and then this DAPPI as a part of supply chain, we have a plant in India. So whenever I have an opportunity, I try to select some collaboration companies in India. So these projects are very big projects. The bulletproof monomer project is itself, just monomer itself, has $125 million as a capital project in India. So that was constructed under my supervision or project management. So that's why I visit India almost like every quarter. So whenever I visit India, I come to Tenali, and at least I spend 1 week because
Okay.
సో యా ఈవెన్ ఆగస్ట్ లో కూడా వచ్చి వెళ్ళాను, చెప్పాను కదండి జ్యోతి గారు మీకు.
చెప్పారు సార్, చెప్పారు.
So as part of this bulletproof project, US government, because I'm a Canadian citizen, and during that time, and this is a very high security project. So the US government, they don't want to share some of the information with me, but I am the project manager. So then they relocated me to USA in 2017. That's how I moved from my Kingston to, so I worked there in DuPont Canada before, and now I started working in DuPont USA. So this is my professional experience. Sorry if I take some time on that. So let's go to our topic. So before going to the industrial safety, so some people may thought like, because a lot of incidents happen, it is taking life of several people, polluting environment, and that is not chemical industry, right? Like we believe we can do zero incidents. We can develop a project with zero incidents. Somebody, okay, let's talk about this chemical industry growth. Why it is chemical industry growth is chemical industry is very important, and how it is contributing to the growth of India, growth in India, growth of a country, of a nation, right? So, like as you know, India is an agriculture development country. So just now we talked about pesticides, and we have fertilizers, lot of chemicals entered the agricultural industry, right? Agricultural occupation. So without these fertilizers or pesticides, or at least organic chemicals, whatever you call, you cannot imagine or you cannot serve the country, because country's population is growing a lot, and we have very limited amount of land, and the food scarcity is, if you see 80s and 90s, like food scarcity is very high in India, and in especially in India. Then like after we are start using the fertilizers or pesticides and whatever, then the food chain or food we're able to serve to the nation. So the chemical industry stands as a backbone to agricultural development and also the industrial growth in India. Right? We have, like, you cannot imagine without your life. You cannot imagine your life without a chemical, right? If you sit on the chair, the chair material, you may see some polymer on the chair. If you use your toothpaste, the bristles or the material, that is a chemical. But toothbrush is a toothbrush. I'm talking about toothbrush, and toothpaste is a chemical. Your soap is a chemical, whatnot, right? Whatever the appliances you use inside, everything is come out of chemical factory. So without chemical factory, there is no meaning in our life right now. Your cell phone, your glasses, your laptop, everything has to come at some point of time, has to made in a chemical factory, correct? So if you see in 2021, what the statistics says is, like, in global market, Indian chemical industries, they are increasing their share to 5 to 6%, like, as per the statistics in 2021. Okay, and in the next decade, it is predicted that the growth can be increased to 8 to 9% in next 10 years. If we do it in a proper way, of course, right? So that is the clause. And if you see in the past 5 years, the chemical sector, it is growing a lot. 13 to 40% is contributing, is increased in last 5 years. This is just chemical sector, apart from petrochemicals, and petrochemicals itself, they registered a growth of 8 to 9% over the last 5 years. Okay, so they are contributing a lot to Indian economy. Okay. Sorry. Okay. You can stop me and you can ask questions. Okay. I want this to be interactive. Okay. So when we say the chemical industry is growing or giving a lot of economy to the country, on the other hand, like India become the nation with large amount of disasters, unfortunately. And why and how to prevent that, we will talk later. But this is as per the statistics, like when I say significant chemical accidents, they are huge blowouts, or huge, like explosions, or huge incidents that happened in India. Last decade itself, I mean last 10 years itself, there are 130 significant incidents. When I say significant, it is taken at least a death and several injuries, etc. Right, and lot of environment pollution and lot of damage to public as well as private properties. In a lot of damage to environment pollution. All these I can say as a significant incident. So we need to take why these incidents are happening, like yeah, especially in India, right? And we can talk about that in more detail. But what I can say is, we need to, based on what we see, there are 250 deaths and more than 250 deaths and more than 500 major injuries happened in last 10 years, which is a lot. I say to Western culture here, and when somebody asks like why these incidents happen, it is very sad to say, but I tell people, my colleagues here, that like in India we don't have proper liability to people's life. So lot of negligence. We do a lot of negligence. We have several laws. We have several legal procedures, but if it comes to implementation, we don't implement it properly, right? So if you see, even if I come to Tenali, like, I don't drive according to the rules as I drive in USA. I love riding motorcycle, but unfortunately I don't drive it as a rule, because if I drive according to the legal driving rules, I cannot move my vehicle. There is no certain the traffic doesn't follow the rules, right? So it's because one thing is not only the proper awareness of rules and regulations. It's your human psychology, our Indian psychology, to bypass the rules, or maybe because of the huge population, we may not able to do it. I don't know. So that is also one contribution. So if you see these the pictures here, the picture A is shows one of the biggest disaster in so far in entire time, which is a Bhopal incident, right, which happened in 1984. So this is the greatest or biggest disaster happened in the world, and it took um more than 3,000. People say 3,000, but I believe it is around 20,000 lives, and over 16,000 injuries claimed, and several people are still affecting with various diseases because of this disaster. If you know this disaster, this is happened in United Carbon, I think United Carbide, United Carbide incident, right? And now they changed the name, but this is a fast gene released incident, and I read about this incident, and I generated interest in chemical engineering during that time in 1984, and I read about this incident, why this chemical release, which is fast gene release, happened in the industry, and that's how I think I generated my interest to become a chemical engineer during that time. And picture B, that is HPLC, Hindustan Petro Chemical Limited. Incident happened in Visakhapatnam, and in C, you see the great explosion, fires, and all that happened in ONGC in Mumbai. Uh, and the B is 1995. It's a Pasarlapudi incident. If you, yeah, in Pasarlapudi there is a huge ONGC blowout. So you see the Godavari Delta is a agricultural place, and it's a green place, right, in rice bowl of Andhra. And because of this blowout, it was uh, it was like under fire. So like what we believe, these incidents are can be prevented, easily prevented. But why this cannot be prevented? Uh, because lack of knowledge or lack of concern. So these are the incidents happened in these are major incidents happened from last decade, and these incidents happened very recently, right? August 21. Unfortunately, that is that is my birthday on that day, and I just came back from India on August 19 and reached here on August 20. I was with Central Minister Pemasani Chandrasekhar Garu, Dr. Pemasani Chandrasekhar Garu, during that from the flight from Vijayawada to New Delhi. So I was sitting beside him, and we were discussing about the safety incidents happened in India. I was talking about LG polymer issue and some of these pharmaceutical incidents happened prior to this Achutapuram, which is close to Anakapalli, Visakhapatnam, India, right? And then I was telling him about like why these how to prevent these accidents, what are the government actions to be taken, etc. And he was saying like unfortunately government doesn't have much on, especially the AP government. He was telling like how to stop. What is your proposal? And I said like yeah, like we first of all we have to do an audit to each and every chemical factory or pharmaceutical factory or process industry, and we see like how the safety, what are the safety measures they are taking, and why these incidents happen, and how do we educate that. I know like everyone they may have some knowledge, but they are not practicing because like every safety, to prevent the safety, like you need to spend some money. And if some of you may ask what is my job priority, right? Like I am working as a senior scientist. I am developing several projects. I am doing piloting and scale up, commercialization of chemical, and building the chemical plants. But these are all not my priority number one. Okay. When you ask, I designed several plants, by the way. Okay, I designed several plants in India, in USA, Canada, and in Europe also. Um, but if you ask me what is my number one job priority, then I say I want to keep my plant, or I want to keep my operator as safe as possible. మనం అనుకున్నట్టు మనము ప్లాంట్కి వచ్చే ముందల వీ కమ్ విత్ 2 eyes, అంటే 2 కళ్ళతో వస్తాము, 2 చేతులతో వస్తాము, 10 వేళ్లతో వస్తాము, అట్లాగే 2 కాళ్ళతో వస్తాము, అట్లాగే 10 కాలి వేళ్లతో వస్తాం కదండి. ఐ వాంట్ మై ఆపరేటర్ టు గో బ్యాక్ టు హోమ్ with the same thing. So that is my number one priority. When I focus on my project development or when I design a plant, I keep that in mind. So how do I deliver that, right? When I say I want my operator to be safe, I want my operator to go with all his body parts as it is. I want my operator to breathe. I want my neighbor fellows beside the factory or industry to breathe the quality air. I want the city to be environment free. So when I say that, how do we deliver that, right? So we have to take certain precautions. We have to spend some money. We have to give priority to the environment, right? If you don't do that, see this Achutapuram incident, which is happened in August 21, and I will talk about this incident briefly, right? Because since many of you are chemists, and like ఎందుకు అయిందో తెలుసా అండి ఇది అచ్యుతాపురం ఇన్సిడెంట్? మీకు ఎవరైనా చెప్పగలరా అచ్యుతాపురం ఇన్సిడెంట్ ఎందుకు జరిగిందో? ప్లీజ్ మాట్లాడండి ఎవరన్నా. Please unmute yourself and talk. Am I audible?
Yes,
వినపడుతుందండి? Yeah. Nobody want to talk or shy?
వినపడుతుంది.
ఈ అచ్యుతాపురం ఇన్సిడెంట్ ఎందుకు జరిగిందో అంటేనండి, మీరు కెమిస్ట్రీ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ లో ఉన్నారు కదా. సో we have a molecule called MTBE, methyl tertiary butyl ether. ఇది ఎందుకు వాడతామంటే ఇఫ్ యూ సీ పెట్రోకెమికల్స్ ఉంటుంది కదా మన ఈ పెట్రోల్ గ్యాస్ చూసుకుంటే మీరు పెట్రోల్ కొట్టించుకుంటే యూ సీ పెట్రోల్ బంక్ లో చూడండి అంటే ఐఎమ్ టాకింగ్ వెరీ ప్రాక్టికల్ థింగ్స్ హియర్. ఓకే, పెట్రోల్ బంక్ లో చూడండి ఆల్కహాల్ 10% ఆల్కహాల్ బ్లెండ్ అని ఉంటుంది, 10% ఇథనాల్ బ్లెండ్ అని ఉంటుంది. So why we are blending ethanol is ethanol will act as a octane booster. అంటే ఏంటంటే ఈ గ్యాస్ ఓయిల్ ఉంది కదా మన పెట్రోల్ ఉంది కదా, వెన్ వీఆర్ ట్రైంగ్ టు బర్న్ ద పెట్రోల్ ఇట్ వోంట్ బర్న్ కంప్లీట్లీ. సో ఏమవుతుందంటే పెట్రోల్ కంప్లీట్గా బర్న్ అయిపోతే కార్బన్ మోనాక్సైడ్ కింద ఫామ్ అవుతుంది. సో ఈ కార్బన్ మోనాక్సైడ్ పొల్యూటెంట్ కదా, అందువలన కంప్లీట్గా బర్న్ అవడానికంటే you want to convert a hydrocarbon to completely to CO2 and H2O, right? That is when you are burning a fuel. So then you have to add a octane booster. Octane booster general ga ethanol lo em avutundante oka oxygen C2H5OH ante it has an oxygen molecule kada. So this oxygen molecule helps to complete convert the hydrocarbon into CO2 ఇన్స్టెడ్ ఆఫ్ CO, కార్బన్ మోనాక్సైడ్ కన్నా కార్బన్ మోనాక్సైడ్ డయాక్సైడ్ కింద కన్వర్ట్ అవడానికి ఉపయోగపడుతుంది అనమాట ఆక్టేన్ బూస్టర్స్. ఈ ఇథనాల్ వాడటానికి ముందు వీ యూజ్ లెడ్, TEL అంటాము, టెర్షరీ ఇథైల్ లెడ్. ఓకే, TEL వాడేవాళ్ళం. దిస్ ఈజ్ ఇన్ 1900s అనమాట, ఎర్లీ 1900s ఆర్ బిట్వీన్ 1920 సంథింగ్ లైక్ దట్, 1900 to 1920 or 30 something like that. So, but later people find that lead, TEL is a cancer-causing agent. So, ఈ leadని they stop using lead అనమాట. ఇప్పుడు చూస్తే వెస్టర్న్ వరల్డ్లో ఈవెన్ లెడ్, మెర్క్యూరీ ఇలాంటి కెమికల్స్ని థర్మోమీటర్స్లో కానీ లేకపోతే లెడ్ ఎక్కడ వాడతామంటే జనరల్గా పెయింట్స్లో వాడతాము. ప్లాంట్లో ఉన్న పెయింట్స్ కూడా లెడ్ ఏదైనా ఉంటే మొత్తం తీసేసేసి దే ఆర్ మేకింగ్ లెడ్ ఫ్రీ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ అనమాట. ఎందుకంటే లెడ్ క్రియేట్స్ క్యాన్సర్. అది ఆ కన్సర్న్ బాగా రైజ్ అయింది. దెన్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ థింకింగ్ అబౌట్ సో లెడ్ని ఆక్టేన్ బూస్టర్ కింద యూజ్ చేసేవాళ్ళు. సో దెన్ పీపుల్ థాట్ అబౌట్ ఆల్టర్నేట్ టు ద TEL అనమాట. సో దిస్ MTBE కేమ్ ఇన్ పిక్చర్, మిథైల్ టెర్షరీ MTBE, butyl ether. Okay, methyl tertiary butyl ether. So this came into picture and they start using it as an octane booster. So అంటే పెట్రోల్ కలపడం స్టార్ట్ చేశారు అనమాట లెడ్ బదులు. Then the problem with this is a environmental polluted chemical. ఎందుకంటే this penetrates very easily into the water. So మీరు ఏదైనా తీసుకోండి, కెమికల్ తీసుకుంటే మనం ల్యాండ్ మీద వేసామనుకోండి, the chemical won't penetrate. The penetration power of a chemical into the soil, there is a absorption capacity, right? So MTBE is it won't absorb easily into the soil, so it directly goes to the water bodies and pollute the water bodies very easily. Okay, and then environmental agencies they think about that and they start asking people to avoid using it. సో ఎక్కడైనా ట్యాంకర్స్లో కూడా పెట్టినా కూడా జనరల్గా ఏమైందంటే కెమికల్ ట్యాంకర్స్లో అంతా కొంత లీకేజ్ ఉంటుంది. యూ కెనాట్ ప్రివెంట్ దట్ అనమాట. సో లీక్ అయ్యి వాటర్ బాడీస్ చుట్టూతా ఉన్న విలేజెస్ కానీ వాటర్ బాడీస్ కానీ మొత్తం దే స్టార్ట్ పొల్యూటింగ్ అనమాట. సో ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ ఏజెన్సీస్ దే ప్రొహిబిటెడ్ యూజింగ్ దిస్ MTBE. Then ethanol, methanol, ఇది now it became the mandatory to add in petrol as an octane booster. ఇదంతా ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నానంటే ఈ అచ్యుతాపురం ఇండస్ట్రీ, ఫార్మాస్యూటికల్ ఇండస్ట్రీ, దే ఆర్ యూజింగ్ MTBE as a solvent. Okay, I don't know how they got permission. I don't know like why they may be, since it is a pharma, I don't know what scale they are using and how the government regulations in India are working, because MTBE is there is a lot of ban and it's a very restricted chemical in Western countries. Yeah. And what they did is ఈ పైప్ లైన్ ఉంటుంది కదా, పైప్ లైన్ ట్యాంక్ నుంచి రియాక్టర్ కి ఈ సాల్వెంట్ ఎంటీబీ అనేది దే ఆర్ యూజింగ్ ఇట్ యాజ్ ఎ సాల్వెంట్. సో ఇది అంతా నేను న్యూస్ పేపరు, నాకు తెలిసిన ఫ్రెండ్స్ ద్వారా వచ్చే ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్. సో ఐ డోంట్ నో వెదర్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఆథెంటికేట్ ఆర్ నాట్, బట్ దిస్ ఈస్ వాట్ ఐ రీడ్ ఇన్ వాట్ ఐ గాట్ యాజ్ ఏ సెకండ్ హ్యాండ్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్. ఓకే. సో వీళ్ళు ఏం చేశారంటే ఈ ఎంటీబీఈ పైప్ లైన్ని ఎయిర్ డక్ట్స్ ఉంటాయి కదండి. ఇప్పుడు ఎయిర్ డక్ట్స్ అంటే ఎలా చెప్పాలంటే, మాకు ఇళ్లలో కూడా ఎయిర్ డక్ట్స్ ఉంటాయి అన్నమాట. సో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మీకు ఇక్కడ చూస్తే సో ఇక్కడ చూడండి, కనపడుతుందేమో ఇక్కడ
కనిపిస్తుంది సార్.
This is an air duct. Okay, so this will facilitate you to circulate air inside the house. Okay, here. అట్లాగే ఇండస్ట్రీలో ఏంటంటే ఈ లోవర్ ఎక్స్ప్లోజివ్ లిమిట్, హైయర్ ఎక్స్ప్లోజివ్ లిమిట్, ఈ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ లేకుండా ఉండడానికి దే విల్ సర్క్యులేట్ ది ఎయిర్ అక్రాస్ ది రూమ్స్ అన్నమాట. సో ఇట్లా ఎయిర్ డక్ట్స్ ఉంటాయి, అట్లాగే ఫ్యాన్స్, పంప్స్ అవి ఉంటాయి అనమాట, ఎయిర్ సక్ చేయడానికి, ఎయిర్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ చేయడానికి ఎక్సెట్రా. సో వాట్ బ్లండర్ దిస్ ఎంటీబీఈ ఈజ్ ఏ, ఐ థింక్ ఇట్ హ్యాస్ ఏ ఫ్లాష్ పాయింట్. ఫ్లాషింగ్ అంటే తెలుసు కదా మీకు, ఫ్లాష్ పాయింట్ అంటే తెలుసు కదా, వేర్ ఏ కెమికల్ జనరేట్ సబ్స్టాన్షియల్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ వేపర్. ఓకే, మనం ఇప్పుడు వాటర్ వేపర్ తీసుకున్నాం అనుకోండి, బాయిలింగ్ పాయింట్ వచ్చేసి 100 degrees దగ్గర ఉంటుంది కదా, బట్ ఫ్లాష్ పాయింట్ వచ్చేసేసి అరౌండ్ 40 degrees. అంటే వాటర్ స్లోగా ఒక్కొక్క డ్రాప్లెట్గా ఫామ్ అవటం, పైకి ఎవాపరేట్ అవటం స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది అనమాట. సో అట్లాగే ఎవ్రీ కెమికల్ హ్యాస్ ఏ డిఫరెంట్ ఫ్లాష్ పాయింట్. సో వెన్ యూ సీ దిస్ ఎంటీబీఈ, దిస్ హ్యాస్ ఏ ఫ్లాష్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ -30 or 25 degrees C. అంటే ఇట్ ఫ్లాషెస్ ఈజీలీ. సో వాట్ దిస్ dumbheads did, sorry to say dumbheads, because like that is a blunder mistake. They are enrouting this pipeline, MTB pipeline, through the air duct system, HVAC system అంటారు, ఎయిర్ డక్ట్ సిస్టమ్ అంటే. దాన్ని అంటే ఏంటంటే, పైప్ లైన్ కనుక కొద్దిగా లీక్ అయితే యూ హ్యావ్ ద ఆక్సిజన్ అవైలబుల్ అండ్ ఇట్ కెన్ రెడీలీ మేక్ ఎన్ ఎక్స్ప్లోజన్. So they designed the plant to explode itself. So that's why that's very unfortunate. అది ఏమైందంటే వేపర్ రిలీజ్ అయ్యి సో చుట్టూతా ఎయిర్ ఉంది కదా ఆల్రెడీ. ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఒక ఫైర్ జరగాలంటే ఏం కావాలండి? యూ నీడ్ త్రీ ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఇన్ ఎ ఫైర్ ట్రయాంగిల్ టు కంప్లీట్ ఎ ఫైర్ ట్రయాంగిల్, రైట్? ఫస్ట్ వన్ ఈజ్ you require a fuel. So MTBE is a fuel. It's a MTBE అంటే hydrocarbon కదా, methyl tertiary butyl ether. It's a hydrocarbon, it's a fuel. It's a petrochemical compound. And you need oxygen. So air as oxygen. And the third one you need to complete a fire triangle is ignition source. So ignition source వచ్చేసేసి, if you use a light bulb, if you don't use a electrically qualified, మేమేమంటామంటే ఎలక్ట్రిక్ క్లాసిఫికేషన్లో క్లాస్ 1 డివిజన్ 2 అలా అంటాం అనమాట. ఇట్లాంటి కాంపౌండ్స్ ఉన్నప్పుడు there should be, we have to use a bulb that is capable to prevent the flash. You have to use a fan that prevents some ignition. So I don't know whether they use any of these. So ఒక ignition source ఉండాలి, ఒక fuel ఉండాలి, ఒక oxygen ఉండాలి. So they supply all the 3 elements and they made a good explosion. And ఇది అచ్యుతాపురం ఒకటే కాదండి. If you see the incidents here, there are several incidents. As I unfortunately, like నేను శనివారం ఆదివారం this weekend I was trying to make this presentation and I thought I may not get adequate amount of pictures for this presentation, but when I keep on browsing I see huge incidents happen. See this one, August 21, there is an incident happened in Visakhapatnam. I was focusing only in Telugu states, okay? I didn't focus on northern states, or I didn't go outside Andhra Pradesh and Hyderabad. Telangana. So this one, July 17, there is another incident happened in 2024 in Vasant Chemicals. Another blowout happened. Okay, and April 3rd, this is in Hyderabad, SB Organics Limited. There is an incident happened. It's a reactor explosion. And there is another incident happened in March 2nd, 2023. That is in Aurora Pharmaceuticals. And another incident happened in February 8th. That is in Hyderabad. And Milan Labs, January 8th. See, and every quarter or every at least like 3 or 4 months there is an incident happening. And you see when incident happen, ఇది ఒక ఇండస్ట్రీ ఒక్కళ్ళే కాదండి దీనికి ఇదయ్యేది. దాని చుట్టూతా ఉన్న ప్రజలు, పీపుల్, పబ్లిక్ కెన్ గెట్ ఎఫెక్ట్. And sometimes these chemicals will go to the environment and they can cause huge damage to public health. ఈ ఫ్యాక్టరీలో ఉన్న మనుషులు ప్రాణాలు పోతాయి, చుట్టూతో ఉన్న పబ్లిక్ they get affected. Sometimes as Bhopal incident, they may affect by generations also. Like now I think still 3 or 4 generations after Bhopal incident is still they are having these genetical diseases, right? So I see these like the chemical catastrophes, right? The catastrophes is a huge disaster. These results in emissions, fire, explosion, or hazardous chemicals, as I explained. And this can happen during any operations. As I said right now, this can happen in chemical transport, as MTBE case, or during reaction, something may happen, or I will talk very soon about LG polymer issue, which has happened during storing and handling the chemical, and it can happen during transportation, because you see this ONGC possible blowout, which happened during the transportation or getting the petrochemical out of earth, or sometimes it happens because of natural disaster also. So for example, COVID season, it's a natural disaster, right? It's a pandemic period, and also it acts as a natural disaster. So it can happen any time if you misuse, or if you mishandle, or if you don't handle properly the any chemical. Okay, and what the sad thing is, in even 21 and 23, this was I was googling in last week how many incidents happened. And in AP itself, only Andhra Pradesh itself, there were 600 explosions happened. 600 explosions or fires happened in 2021 to 2023. And in 2024, till August, from January to August, there are 174 incidents happen in all these factories across AP. Okay, and if you see Hyderabad, I don't have the statistics. I gave up after I see AP. I gave up about Telangana. So what I see is Hyderabad has 4,000 high-risk factories, chemical and pharma, across Sangareddy, Mailavaram, Mailapur, in that zone anamata, GD Metla, etc. There are 4,000 factories, high-risk factories, and they are blowing up almost like every month. Okay, and why these blasts or these explosions happen? And this is because of maintenance issues. People don't want to spend the factory people don't want to waste their money. They thought they are wasting their money, but if these incidents happen, they have to close their factories. Unfortunately, they don't know about this. They don't maintain things properly. They have a very shortage of qualified personnel. They don't handle equipment because they don't have qualified personnel, they don't have a proper training, they don't have proper safety awareness. And as I said earlier, like as being Indian, we thought like negligence is our మనం ఏమంటామంటే బర్త్ రైట్, జన్మ హక్కు అనుకుంటాం. నెగ్లిజెన్స్ అనేది మన జన్మ హక్కు కింద అయిపోయింది ఇండియాలో. సో దట్ మే బి ఆల్సో వన్ ఆఫ్ ద ఫ్యాక్టర్. సో దిస్ ఈస్ ఫ్రమ్ సోర్స్ టైమ్స్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా. Okay, so I took this LG polymer incident as a case study, and I have done some root cause analysis why this incident happened and what is the chemistry behind. So I'm going to talk about this in coming in the next few slides. Okay, so this is on the right side you see a picture with an explosion. These are not clouds, okay. These are not clouds. These came from the fire smoke after the explosion happened. So these are the storage anamata. These are storage tanks. These are not even reactors. So this event happened in the storage tanker. Okay. So what happened is on May 7, 2020, you may remember this COVID peak times, right? COVID happened and central government in India locked down the country. They locked down the country during that time, and unfortunately this incident happened because the factory, the plant, they didn't shut down this plant properly. Okay, so what happened is a gas leak incident happened at LG Polymer in Visakhapatnam that resulted in the death of 12 people and hospitalization by over 300 people and more than 1,000 people. These are all death happened in the maybe death happened to the employees, and hospitalization may happen between employees and the common public, and more than 1,000 people around across the factory around the
వెంకటేశ్వర గారు
చెప్పండి. హలో, ఎవరన్నా మాట్లాడారండి? జ్యోతి గారు? ఓకే, హలో, am I audible?
ఎస్ సార్ ఆడబుల్.
చెప్పండి, మీరు పిలిచారా మీరు?
నో సార్, ప్లీజ్ కంటిన్యూ సార్, ప్లీజ్.
ఓకే సారీ. మీరు చెప్పండి, ఇది బోరింగ్గా ఉంటే మీకు, లేకపోతే ఏమైనా అర్థం కాకపోయినా నాకు చెప్పండి.
షూర్ సార్, థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్, షూర్.
Okay, so 3,000 people were evacuated from the villages across the neighborhood. So what happened is we say incident recording. Okay, so this is called incident recording. So the main cause of incident is leaking vapor from styrene monomer storage tanker. Okay, so I will talk about what styrene etc. is. Okay, and primary source concluded that the accident is likely the result of improper maintenance of storage monomer. So basically this doesn't happen inside the industry. This happened in a storage unit. Okay, so because of improper storage and multiple operation failures. So what are those multiple operation failures? I'm going to talk about in the next few slides. Okay, so why this incident happened? Because despite the industrial awareness of proper styrene storage, this latest safety incident is a prime example of lack in the Indian industrial safety practice. Okay, so then as a chemical engineer and being like my education in Visakhapatnam, and I'm being from India, I got a lot of safety awareness and safety involved in safety design, plant building, etc. I thought like this is a very something concern to me. I consider this as a case study, and I was reading all the newspapers, I was seeing the channels or websites, and I was thinking myself about what is the possible system failures that resulted in this occurrence. Okay, and after that I have done some case study and I tried to make some possible actions, and as I said, I communicated with government, some people in government, and also I hand over this to the committee which was reporting about this incident in AP. So I try to do as best as I can from my side, being like Indian origin and interest in Visakhapatnam, and being a chemical engineer. Okay, so let's talk about the styrene. Styrene ante it's a C8H8 molecule, so which is also a petrochemical, it's a hydrocarbon. Okay, so it's a benzene group and ethylene on benzene group anamata. Okay, it has a molecular weight of 104 gram per mole, and if you see this one, it has a boiling point. It's a colorless oily liquid with a sweet odor at room temperature. Okay, and it has a boiling point of around 145 degrees, so which is higher than boiling point of water, right? We know boiling point of water is 100 degrees C. But as I mentioned earlier about this MTBE, MTBE is more dangerous than this styrene. MTBE has a flash point. That means it can generate vapor, sufficient amount of vapor to ignite in air at 0 degrees also. But the styrene has a flash point of 31 degrees C. Okay. And if you see Visakhapatnam, May summer peak season lo Visakhapatnam temperature anta untundo telusa andi? It is around 45 to 50 degrees C, or greater than 40. Let's say greater than 40 degrees C. That means the temperature itself, like if you don't circulate cooling coil around the storage tank, the temperature itself, the room temperature itself has enough sufficiency to generate adequate amount of vapor and generate an explosion. So that's what exactly happened. So if you see NFPA standards, National Fire Protection Academy, NFPA stands for National Fire Protection Academy. If you see NFPA 30 standards, it can be handled with using NFPA 30 standards while transferring, and you have to use electric. I talked about electric classifications in industry, right? You have to use NFPA 70 standards. So of course you don't need about those standards because you are all in academics. But you have to follow those academics in industry to handle this and to design or to store this chemical. Okay, I don't know like how what standards they use. Okay, so if you see why they are using this styrene, and styrene is a very good molecule and it has got a lot of applications. So if you see మీరు మనం ఈ థర్మోకోల్ అంటాం కదా, థర్మోకోల్ షీట్స్, it came from polystyrene only. Once you polymerize the styrene, then you can make these thermocoals where you can use like food, like కాఫీ కప్పులు కానీ లేదా ఫుడ్ స్టోరేజ్ కోసం ఉపయోగించే బాక్సులు. అలాగే ఇన్ యూఎస్ we use this milk cans. So these milk cans are made from polystyrene. Also the home appliances like chairs, etc. And you see this one is bumper, car bumper idi. So on the right side మీరు చూడండి, that is a car bumper. So you can see it has a various applications. It includes laboratory wear, food packing, electronics, automobile, toys, gardening, pots, etc. So polystyrene has various applications. So LG Polymers, they are making this chemical polystyrene, and they are marketing and they are earning a lot of money on this. They are marketing across the world and they are making a lot of money on this. but unfortunately they are not taking adequate precaution while handling this chemical. So so you can see the pictures. Visakhapatnamlo incident జరిగినప్పుడు pictures అండి, right side. You can see those pictures in the slides. Okay. And what are the hazards? How the styrene is hazard to environment, health and safety, right? EHS stands for environment, health and safety. So if you see the fire and explosion hazard, this is classified as class 1C flammable chemical. So ఇప్పుడు మనం మాట్లాడుకుంటే MTBE వస్తే క్లాస్ 1A ఫ్లామబుల్ కెమికల్ కింద వస్తుంది. స్టైరిన్ క్లాస్ 1C. సో which is it has a highly flammable nature అనమాట, as I mentioned. So if you see the concentrations of 0.9 to 6.8% by volume, it can create an explosion. Okay. And if you see the health, it can cause skin irritation, it can redden your eye, swell your eye, create and blistering on your skin, etc. And also it creates the breathing problems. And if you see the environment, if you are allow this chemical to go to the water bodies, then it can be act as a toxic to aquatic organisms like fish, etc. Okay, so it has all the bad quality. So chemical industry law, you have to handle these kind of chemicals. It's very common, but as I mentioned earlier, you have to design your plant, you have to design your standard operating procedures in such a way that you have to handle it in a properly. Otherwise you see these kind of incidents. And companies have to spend money to safe handle this, and company don't want to spend money, then they have to pay a lot of penalty to the government, or in terms of like normal penalties or bribes, especially in India, or they can take the lives of people, and I don't know what they can achieve by taking the lives, like doing unsafe operations like this. Okay. So let's talk about, since this happened, this incident happened in storage tank. Okay, let's talk about the safe design of storage tank. So there are, like, when I was sitting in my home and seeing about why this incident happened, right? And I was thinking myself, like, how do we design? How do I design if I was involved in that plant design? How do I design the styrene storage tank? Is it I have to start from the grassroots? Is it not available? But it's not the case. There is a lot of information readily available in open literature. మీరు చూసుకుంటే I find several articles అనమాట, how to design this in a safe way. So when you use this as a monomer in a plant, you have to store this chemical for long period of time, right? So you have to design the tank in a safe way. So what does it mean, a safe way, right? So you have to design so that it can handle against fire and explosion hazards, because styrene is flammable. For that one, what you have to do, you have to do proper insulation, you have to do proper refrigeration. Refrigeration is recommended because this has a flash point of 31 degrees C. So you have to store this chemical less than 23, 24 degrees C. But unfortunately, in Indian environment, you don't get 23 degrees at, even in winters also, right? So you need to have some cooling coil circulation facility around the tank. Okay. And like some other information, like you have to store in a vertical storage tank, you have to use some tank linings like zinc silicate, etc. Okay. And one other important thing is, you have to use whenever there is a safety involved, we use high level alarms. So this is a flammable chemical. It is mandatory to use high level alarms for this tank. What these high level alarms will do, if there is a temperature goes beyond 23 degrees or 24 degrees, then it will alarm. If there is some vapor, the pressure generated, then you can monitor the pressure inside the tank. Then it has to give some certain alarm. If your cooling coil circulation has stopped, then it has to give certain alarm. So all these alarms have to be provided on the storage tank. Okay, and the storage tank should be equipped with all these things. Okay, flame arresters. You have to use a nitrogen purge, which is very very important. Nitrogen purge ఎందుకంటే the styrene will react with oxygen to make an explosion. So you should ensure that your tank should not have any oxygen stored inside. Okay, and you have to develop a pressure relief valve, etc. So all these things should be there in storage tank. So you can see the picture also is available, engineering drawing for styrene storage tank. So everything is there, how to use piping and houses, what kind of moorings you have to use, what kind of electric classification, how do we use what are the pump specifications, how do you use a leak detection devices, everything is there. You have to use a secondary containment, everything is there. But why this incident is happened, right? And what exactly happened, I was very surprised after doing this case study. What happened is when the central government issued the shutdown, the lockdown of country, they just closed the plant, shut down the plant, like as we shut down a water tank. మన ఇంట్లో వాటర్ ట్యాంక్ ఉంటుంది కదండి, మన వాటర్ we pump the water to the tank, right? When it is start filling or it is coming to the level, we just close the switch off the pump, electric connection, or switch off the motor and stop the water pipe. So this exactly they did the same with the styrene storage tank also. So what happened is they didn't purge the tank with nitrogen. They don't ensure that they purge the tank with nitrogen, and they have to add certain polymerization inhibitors, okay, to prevent this polymerization. Because what happens is styrene polymerizes at a normal ambient temperature, and this polymerization reaction is exothermic reaction. What happens is it evolves heat, okay, and this polymerization happens because of presence of oxygen. So when they shut down the plant, they didn't ensure that there is inhibitors inside the tank. They didn't ensure that there is no dissolved oxygen, so they don't purge with nitrogen. They didn't ensure that there are certain peroxides generated already, and they don't have any free radicals or iron initiators, etc. So they left the tank in a very uncontrolled state, and the temperature already is May, so it was like 40 degrees. So when, as I said, for any fire triangle there should be a fuel, there is an availability of oxygen, and the ignition source. Ignition source is exothermic activity, it generates heat, and there is air as oxygen, and this styrene itself is a fuel. So when initially the polymerization happen, auto polymerization happen, temperatures rises from 30 degrees, say 30 degrees to 65, and then there is a runaway polymerization, and there is a huge amount of vapor violently erupt from the tank, and the tanks are plugged with vapor, and there is pressure develop, and it acts as a bomb, explosion bomb. And because you guys are chemistry guys, so I will talk little bit more about chemistry aspects here. So I'm talking about inhibitors, right? Like what these inhibitors will do. So for example, for the styrene, they have to add 4-ter butyl catechol. as a inhibitor to stop the autopolymerization of styrene molecule. Okay, so this customarily add to the liquid styrene at a concentration of 184.6 grams of per liter of styrene as an inhibitor to stop the polymer formation. Okay, and as I said, oxygen concentration is the key. You should not allow oxygen to dissolve in the tank. So, but oxygen will dissolve automatically, right? So, what we do generally for this kind of flammable liquids, you purge the liquid with nitrogen. So, when there is no personnel involved and there is no nitrogen purge because of the shutdown, lockdown of the country, and they leave the tank as it is, then excessive amount of oxygen is present in the tank, and there is no nitrogen blanket. Then they generate the dissolved oxygen inside the tank. So for that one, like you have to do proper sampling to ensure the TBC levels and the dissolved oxygen. So, but there is no personnel available during the time as country is locked down. Very unfortunate. And and one other thing is they have to circulate the cooling coils because they need to keep the tank under 20 degrees or 23 degrees. So there is no cooling coil available. And apart from that, no alarms, no interlocks, no shutdown procedures, no people available. There is temperature and level indicators are not giving proper alarms. Secondary containment system, I don't know about this. There may not be any leak devices, etc. Leak detecting devices, etc. So all these things happen. Then I start making this root cause analysis. Okay. So why? When we say root cause analysis, we will ask questions, right? I will ask questions myself. Why, etc. So we call it 5 whys. And when you say within 5 whys, you have to solve. We have to get some answer, and we will try to get some answer. So what happens is styrene gas leak and polymer LG chemical plant site, and taken some 12 lives and damage, some people and environment, etc. And why it is happened? Because the temperature and pressure rise could cause styrene to evaporate through vent and due to uncontrolled system. Why this is happened? And there are 2 causes, right? Because algae polymer plant, and one is technical aspect, and one is a general aspect. Okay, the technical aspect, let's go to the technical aspect first. Okay, why this styrene evaporate to the environment? Because the ambient temperature rises. The ambient temperature in Vizag is greater than 40 degrees because of summer, and hazard conditions such as failure of tank until tank refrigeration unit there is no cooling coil, there are no inhibitors inside the tank, and there is no oxygen purge, and there is dissolved oxygen inside, and that's how it is evaporated, right? And why? Again, why it is happened? Why? Because plant maintenance is a failure. Because temperature alarms are not there, nobody knows, no safety system, no inventory management, etc. Negligence in operations, etc. Okay, and see how system failures here. Why? Because COVID-19 happened, and the plant was shut down, unscheduled shutdown, right? And they don't know about the shutdown, and they restarted after 40 days due to relaxation of lockdown. And this incident happened during restart of operations. And why, why this incident happened? Because they don't have management of change. When you restart the operations, you cannot restart it just like water tank. You have to ensure certain things, what kind of hazards happen, what kind of hazards presence in that particular location. You have to do proper analysis. You have to identify the hazards, and then you have to ensure whether you decommission the plant or whether you file a proper management of change, etc. So when you say management of change, there are certain management of changes like management of change in technical way, management of change in personal, management of change in a subtle change. Subtle change is generally when you shut down the tank in immediately, like emergency. So this is happened because of the management of change in a subtle way, and they don't know about this management of change, etc. So they just restart the plant without proper understanding of the hazards and proper commissioning. So negligence. Why this happened? Because they don't have the proper knowledge. They are, or maybe they are very negligent people, or they are not trained properly. And why, the management may not train them, or management may themselves doesn't have a lack of safety management or safety knowledge. And if I club all these, like technical wise and the generic wise, then I came to a conclusion that like because of the weak government safety regulations, and maybe because of government audit, maybe they may not done government audit. Every time when you do a shutdown or decommissioning or commissioning of a plant or restarting a plant, the safety officers has to come and they have to ensure that the plant is restarting in a proper way, or maybe they just do it because the plant management knows that the system is corrupted. They can corrupt some safety officers and they can start the plant without doing any safety aspects, because safety doing all these things cost money, right? So you can corrupt an officer with some certain amount of money, then the plant may think like with some little amount of money you may start the plant easily. And this is all very sad. When I say being an Indian origin person, when I am talking all these things, but these are the facts. These are the facts happen, and that's why we are seeing, 600 incidents in 2 years, 170 incidents so far in 1 year. All these things happen because of weak government, system corruption, people negligence. We may think like నాకేమైంది, నాకు అవ్వదు ఇది, నాకు ఇట్లా జరగదు, పక్కన వాళ్ళకే కదా జరిగితే జరిగింది. So this kind of attitude. Okay. And when you see this, why these disasters happen, Indian industrial disasters, why we are more vulnerable to these kind of disasters? Because we are using, and I did some research again, and also I have some people, I have my own team in India, right? I am running a plant in India also. So many plants, even in Gujarat, North India also, they are using some aging process plants. That means they are using the old process plants. They don't design properly, or they don't use the safety measures. They don't train their people properly, and they use organic solvents which can cause explosions, and they don't take proper safety aspects in their design or in handling those chemicals, and even safety operating procedures. They don't train the humans in properly. Lack of emergency response team, or lack of operation proper knowledge people operating these. And then like even when they dispose the waste, this waste cannot be disposed directly. So if you see many pharma companies or many chemical factories in AP, they are distributing, or they are just sending these waste water lines or air just to the environment, water bodies and to the atmosphere, right? They cannot do that, and government should not allow that. And this information I got from IAS Academy, Clear IAS. They train these collectors and all. So this information I got from Clear IAS Academy, so which is cool. I thought like, yeah, this is very good. These collectors has to get this color. Who are the IAS people or IPS people? They have to get this industrial knowledge, and this they are doing very good in. But implementation, I think It's very poor. And what are the safety resources? There are several safety resources. It's not like these are not available. Every plant and every industry, every government knows about these safety resources. Education, we call 5 E's: education, encouragement, enforcement, engineering, evolution. They have these resources. We call a PSM wheel. What is PSM? Process Safety Management. So all these wheels have several spikes, just like process safety information, hazard analysis, so operating procedures, safe practices, management of technology, MOC, as I said. All these resources are available to every industrialist, every employee in the industry. And if you go to the industry, these are all stick to the walls of every Indian industry. But unfortunately, whether they are following those rules or not, I don't know. So I talked about the subtle change, right? Management of subtle change. So this one was the failure happened in LG Polymer case. So what we have to do? What action plan the government or the industrial people has to do? They have to train. The industry safety awareness need to be improved in India to compete with Europe and North America. Not only the production, the safety awareness has to be in competition with the Western nations. And as I said, zero tolerance should be our target. What it means is we should not allow a small chemical leak, not explosions, even a small chemical leak to the environment. Okay. And as I said, these explosions can be easily preventable by proper design and safety and systems, including rupture disk, material handling, mechanical integrity, performing process hazard analysis. These are all PSM. These are all the aspects that these are my duties, daily duties, as a senior technical person in industry right now. And I assume the same thing happen with employees in India also. But why these many of explosions happen, I don't know. Maybe because of negligence and because of corruption system and bypassing the laws, etc. So I see Indian industrial safety rules and regulations are fine, but whether they are compatible with occupational safety and health administration, which is called OSHA. OSHA is US safety regulation. Whether they compete with OSHA, or if not, then they can implement some addendums or bring news and regulations to industrial safety. And first of all, I don't know whether these government safety officers are having proper training, and if not, then they have to get trained according. One of the industrial safety Canadian safety rules are very stringent, especially the Ontario's safety rules. We call TSSC, Technical Standards and Safety Authority of Canada. So they have to get trained according to these, at least to these TSSA rules, government safety officers in India. Okay, so these are some of the action plans I came up with. But I talked with many government officials, including last government. I was very close to Basa Satyanarayan Garu. I talked with him about this. I talked with Central Minister Pemasani about this. I talked with some other ministers, Revella Kishore Babu, I think, some other time. Like many people in government, politicians. But no one, unfortunately, someone says, we need to have some time. Government has no money. Who has to do what? All these things. I hope at least the current government, AP government, under the leadership of Chandrababu Naidu, and fortunately we have Pawan Kalyan taking the science and technology lead in political system right now as a World Science and Technology Ministry. This I can take it to them I bring to the attention of Chandrasekhar garu, Ramasani garu, but let us see. But these are some of the things that I'm worrying about industrial safety. And what there is a chemical council, Indian Chemical Council. What they say, I don't know what they are doing to stop all these incidents. But what they are saying is, like as I said earlier, we cannot stop and start the plants like just like our water tanks. You have to take certain precautions. Okay, you have to highlight the operations when especially when you this is a continuous plant. There is a minimum turn down ratio. You have to allow some time uh, what do you call maintenance. You have to allow some time to maintenance. So of course I don't know like how Indian industrialists like they don't want to if they don't want to waste their money for maintenance, then these kind of incidents will happen. Okay, so these are some of the references I used. Okay, and what I say is Union Carbide, which is Bhopal incident, HPCL, ONGC. These incidents, pharma explosions, can happen if you compliance and compromise on environment, health, and safety. Any questions? Okay, so this is my family. My mom on the right side. So this is the picture taken in during my PhD, where the reactor, which is not showing completely here, but this was my first reactor where I built my for my PhD. Okay, and this is my family, my wife and my two daughters. I spend a lot of my time in my garden, my leisure time in my garden. We grow a lot of vegetables here. We grow gongora, totokura, doskailu, berakai, potlakai, everything we grow here. Guntur michi, etc. in my garden. I love gardening. And so I like this. I like this song. I think Dr. C. Narayan Reddy garu, Videshu Egina, Indikalidina, Epeta Mikina, Avremanina, Ogadara, Nitali Bhumi Bharatani, Nilpura, Nijatin, Indigoro. I strongly believe the roots of our Indian culture, our Telugu culture. I strongly believe in that. And as I said, like I proudly say that my native place is Tenali. And thank you so much, especially HOD garu, Jyoti garu, for allowing me to present my views. And the forum is open for you for any questions or any comments. I took more than 1.5 hours. Sorry for that.
No problem, sir. Not mention the time, sir. So anyone, please ask the questions. Sir is ready to clarify your doubts.
So నా కోరిక ఏంటంటేనండి మీ దగ్గర నుంచి you are all training the next generation people, so try to take this the views, my views, if you think these are good views or positive views, take this to students, like you see ఇంజనీరింగే కాదు ఇండస్ట్రీలో కెమిస్ట్రీ యొక్క ఇంపార్టెన్స్ కూడా చాలా చాలా ఉందన్నమాట. అట్లాగే బయాలజిస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెన్స్ చాలా. చెప్పండి.
One member, sir, Ravishankar garu is asking the question, sir.
Yeah, sure. And Ravishankar garu, you are on mute.
Yes.
Please unmute yourself first.
Ravishankar garu. Please unmute, sir.
మైక్ బటన్ ఉంటుంది కదండి, దాని మీద క్లిక్ చేస్తే అన్మ్యూట్ అవుతుందండి. మీ వాయిస్ రావట్లేదు.
రవిశంకర్ గారు, నో సార్.
అన్మ్యూట్ చేసుకోమని చెప్పండి.
సార్ is not responding the call, sir.
నాట్ వర్కింగ్ హియర్ అంటున్నారు.
Yes. Anyone?
మ్యూట్ బటన్ మీద కొట్టండి. అక్కడ చిన్న మైక్ లాగా ఉంటుంది, దాని మీద క్లిక్ చేస్తే, లేకపోతే రీజాయిన్ అవ్వండి మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి డిస్కనెక్ట్ అయ్యి.
To other persons also, please ask the questions. God is ready to clarify your doubts.
సో నేను చెప్పేది ఏంటంటేనండి, యూ సీ ఎనీ ఇండస్ట్రీ, నాట్ ఓన్లీ ఇంజనీరింగ్, కెమిస్ట్రీ కూడా చాలా ఇన్వాల్వ్మెంట్ ఉంటుంది. సో వెన్ ఎవర్ ప్రాసెస్ డెవలప్ చేసినప్పుడు కానీ, ప్లాంట్ డిజైన్ చేసినప్పుడు కానీ, యూ హ్యావ్ టు నో ద ప్రాపర్టీ ఆఫ్ ఎవ్రీ కెమికల్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ తెలియాలి, అలాగే కంపాటిబిలిటీ తెలియాలి. అంటే మనం ఈ కెమికల్స్ వచ్చేసేసి మెషినరీలో చిన్న చిన్న పార్ట్లు ఉంటాయి, ఓరింగ్స్ కానీ, గ్యాస్కెట్స్ కానీ అలాంటివి ఉంటాయి. అవి కనుక కంపాటబుల్ కాదనుకోండి, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఈ కెమికల్ ఆ ఓరింగ్తో, ఆ ప్లాస్టిక్తో ఇంటరాక్ట్ అయితే, then it will erode the plastic or it will create some corrosion on the metal. సో ఇక్కడ వచ్చేసేసి కెమిస్ట్ పాత్ర చాలా చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ అనమాట. కెమిస్ట్ హ్యాస్ టు టెల్ ద ప్లాంట్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ ద డిజైనర్ దట్ దిస్ కెమికల్ ఈస్ కంపాటబుల్ ఆర్ దిస్ కెమికల్ ఈస్ నాట్ కంపాటబుల్. ద కెమిస్ట్ హ్యాస్ టు సే that this is the safety operating temperature, this is the safety operating pressure where the pressure can start building up. You cannot operate the plant greater than 125 degrees C, or you have to keep a chemical under storage for less than 23 degrees. These are all inputs come from the chemist. Okay, so now my request to you, because since I worked as a assistant professor also, I was in the teaching also. Teaching is my passion before, apart from research. Okay, so my strong request to you is, when you మీ క్లాస్లో టీచ్ చేసేటప్పుడు యూ థింక్ దీస్ ఆస్పెక్ట్స్, ప్రాక్టికల్ ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ కూడా థింక్ చేయండి. అపార్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ యూ మే థీరీస్, యూ మే టెల్ థీరీస్ అండ్ ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్, బట్ యూ స్పెండ్ అట్లీస్ట్ 1 day a week or at least a month to talk about the safety aspects of involvement of chemists in industry. So ultimately they have to go and work in the industry, right? And they have to become the part of Indian economy, Indian resource. If you see, there are several people who are serving across the world as a high resource people. ఓకే, ఈవెన్ మీరు చూసుకుంటే పెద్ద పెద్ద సంస్థల్లో కూడా సిఇఓస్ ఇప్పుడు ఇండియన్సే ఉన్నారు మోస్ట్లీ. ఎందుకంటే వీ కమ్ ఫ్రమ్ దట్ కాంపిటీషన్ వరల్డ్. ఓకే, ఇదివరకు ఎంసెట్ అంటే ఇప్పుడు అంత కాంపిటీషన్, ఇంజనీరింగ్ కాలేజ్ ఎక్కువైనాయి. బట్ మనం ఎంత మనం వీఆర్ లైక్ సర్వైవర్స్. we can know how to survive. So that's why we become the highly talented in the world. Okay, so as a teacher, your involvement is much needed in developing the nation. So without a teacher, the nation cannot be developed. As mother is the primary part of the family, teacher is a primary part of the community. So I believe strongly in those words. So that's why I always say, my father passed away at my age of 18. My mother became a strong support to me. And even my mother is not educated. She is not she's an illiterate. I proudly say she's an illiterate, but she knows the discipline, how to raise the children with highly discipline, how to tell the kid with morals and cultural aspects. And even in Canada, here in US, we strongly follow her teachings. So likewise, I strongly believe in my teachers from Visakhapatnam, from IIT Chennai, and from my doctorate where I got exposure to reactors and more, like commercial standpoint. So all these things are learnings, and as I say, teacher is the primary part. Teacher stands as the మనం ఈ చక్రవ్యూహం అనుకుంటే ఈ లెర్నింగ్ ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ మొత్తం ఒక పర్సన్కి టీచర్ విల్ స్టాండ్ ఇన్ ద మిడిల్ ఆఫ్ ద చక్రవ్యూహం. సో యూ ఆర్ ది మేజర్ రెస్పాన్సిబుల్ ఆఫ్టర్ మదర్. సో ప్లీజ్ టేక్ దీస్ వర్డ్స్ and try to teach the industrial safety at least a day in a month, or if possible a day in a week. Thank you so much, and I hope this is useful for you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone?
Okay, Andy, let's conclude then. If you can also send your comments through my email or my phone number, or even we can have another interaction session when I visit. People may, I don't know whether there is some technical issues here to speaking, or people may feel shy. And you are all teachers, right? You are not supposed to get shy. You have to ask several questions. But yeah, like when I visit Tenali, we can have some interaction session about this also.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Yeah. Okay, Andy, thank you. Can I conclude?
Thank you, sir. Good evening, sir. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks. On behalf of the Department of Chemistry, I would like to thank our esteemed guest, Dr. Venkateswara Surisetti, a senior scientist, principal investigator, manufacturing technology, senior engineering specialist at DuPont, Dean Emers, Richmond, United States of America, for gracing the occasion and sharing valuable insights on industrial safety precautions. Sir, your knowledge and suggestions are truly invaluable, and we are certain they will help enhance the safety standards in the chemical and process industries here in Andhra Pradesh and across the Telugu states. Your dedication to research and innovation in chemical engineering is truly inspiring, and we are grateful for your valuable contribution to this webinar. A special thanks to our beloved principal, Dr. Shaini KP, our principal, to making today's event on chemical and process industry safety a great success. I am deeply honored to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our participants for actively participating and showing your commitment to the cause of safety. It is through our collective efforts that we can create safer workplaces and prevent industrial hazards. I would also like to extend my sincere thanks to the convener of webinar, Dr. K. Nirmal Jyoti, co-convener Dr. V. Sumalata, and other organizing team whose hard work behind this seminar. Your dedication is greatly appreciated. Last but not least, I would like to express my gratitude to Dr. Sister Amulmeri HOD of Computer Science and Mr. Sunny, those who worked behind the scenes, ensuring that every technical aspect of online streaming was handling with precision. Your efforts ensured that the content was delivered effectively to both in-person and virtual audience. Thank you all once again for being a part of this important discussion. Let us continue to work together to uphold safety and responsibility in the chemical and process industries. Once again, thank you. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow for more stimulating sessions. Thank you, sir. వెంకటేశ్వర గారు అడిగిన వెంటనే సార్ యాక్సెప్ట్ చేశారు. చాలా బిజీ షెడ్యూల్ అయినా కూడా మా తెనాలి వాళ్ళని మేము వదులుకోకూడదని సార్ని వెంటనే అడగగానే మా ఇన్విటేషన్ యాక్సెప్ట్ చేశారు సార్. చాలా చక్కగా సేఫ్టీ ప్రికాషన్స్ ఎలా తీసుకోవాలో చాలా చక్కగా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశారు సార్. మీ వాల్యుబుల్ టైం, ఈ టైం చాలా కష్టం కూడా మీకు, అయినా కూడా మాకందరికి మీ నాలెడ్జ్ని షేర్ చేసినందుకు మీకు మళ్ళొకసారి మా అందరి తరఫున థ్యాంక్స్ చెప్తున్నాను సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
That's not a